Dan Hilferty's here. How you doing?
Hey, Russ, how are you?
Good to see
how are
you.
you? Good to see you guys.
Hope
Am I
springs.
allowed to do that?
Yes, you can.
Be
Sit back.
comfortable. Sit back, relax.
Yeah.
Hope springs eternal.
Oh,
The
well,
feeling in the air is very good.
Let me just tell you, I just left the party, the
Yeah.
draft party. We expected a couple hundred people, 1,500 people so far.
No
And
way.
the doors they're coming in, and people are excited. And you're right, it's a consequential draft, but it's the next step in really turning this thing into something special.
No, it's great. It's really cool, and when you say you were expecting only a couple hundred people, I'm assuming you felt that way just because people would have to travel down here, right, Dan? I mean, to come down
I
to
just
Atlantic City.
I said that just to build, so you didn't think we had high expectations. We knew there were going to be 1,500 people here.
That's right.
No,
That's
but you're
exactly
right. A lot of people did drive from parts of Philadelphia and up and down the Jersey Shore. So it's really exciting.
That's great.
It is. I mean, listen, it's crazy to think about it, right? A few years ago, you know this because you often talk about kind of having the fan hat on as well. Things really did not feel like they were going to get better. I mean, it felt like for a few years there, it was just a constant struggle, and it was difficult to kind of see that upside. I tend to be, Mr. Negative, I guess, or I have been, because I try to be realistic about like where things are.
That's a better word, Russ.
Well, some people think it's negative. I look at it as like, I need to see that upward trajectory. And it feels like Mishkov falling, right? That was like a little bit of beautiful karma from the hockey gods. And it feels like tonight, you go into it with 3 first-round picks. It was going to be 4 second-round picks, now only 3, because you get a nice, young, skilled center and Trevor Zegras into town. That got people going even more. From your perspective, seeing that trade go down right before the draft, knowing all the capital that you have to play with tonight, how are you feeling? Have things changed at all?
I would say things have changed, but I would say that as I started on this journey in my role, and then Keith Jones and Danny Briere became part of it, they laid this out in a way. Now, no process, I hate to use the word, but is perfect, right?
Sure.
But they said this is how it was going to go. We needed to clear cap space. We needed to get the players that they believe were real flyers. And then, we landed Mishkov and now Zegras. He's here tonight. And it's really great to see his energy and his excitement for being part of the Flyers. And as Jonesy and I were talking earlier today, we're now a destination.
Yeah.
And so it's beginning. Do I know can I predict what that means over the course of the next 2 or 3 years? But I feel the same way that you do, Russ. As a fan, I'm enthused. I'm excited, and I can't wait to see how tonight goes.
How early were you aware of the potential for getting Trevor here? Like when did you find out?
Well, it's interesting. We on the road, when I go on the road, and I try to go a few times a year. I'm hoping to do it more in the future because you just learn so much. Do these morning walks with Jonesy and Danny. And one of the things we talk about, not necessarily a guy that we will get, but they'll go through like what ifs, and his name always came up. So it caused me to go back and do a little research and watch video. And if Anaheim was playing, I watched them play. But look, it's their job to pull these things together. They're great about keeping me informed. But it's not like weeks before I had any knowledge. It was a day or two before, and that's okay. And that's the way it should be.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, you were just saying the Flyers are a destination now. I'm not going to put you in a bad spot. I'm actively avoiding putting anybody in a bad spot tonight, right?
Yes, good work by you.
I know. Being a good little boy.
Well, we got each other in trouble.
That is true. I saw a clip going around. I don't know when the interview happened, but it was with Schaefer, who's projected to be the #1 overall pick. Now, you guys, unless something crazy happens here, won't be in position to get him. He talked about Briere. He talked about why he wears the number that he wears, and about remembering a nice moment where Danny talked to his brother, and that like made a big impression on them. So when you think about like destination, you think about having somebody who's laced up the skates, has played at this level. It's starting to feel like, I don't want to speak on behalf of the entire hockey community, but it does feel like there is something to having guys like Danny, like Jonesy, and now Talk. Guys seem to respect that. They seem to respect having guys who have been in their shoes before, have been in those skates before. Does it give you hope when you hear not just young players, but free agents and the like? that maybe this is now becoming that destination again?
It's so interesting you say that. Yes, it gives me great hope. But what I wanted to build here was this sense of community, the sense of camaraderie, taking risks, calculated risks on players, on drafts, on whatever it might be. And I want it fun. And just watching over the last couple of days, when you get mainly Jonesy and Talk in a room together, they're serious. They know their business. They're passionate, but man, they have fun.
Yeah.
And then you watch Danny do his thing on a phone, coming back, talking quietly to Brent or whoever it might be, and then put his phone down, walk over and do like a detailed interview in French. Now that's his native language, but
Absolument, ouais.
yeah, oui. And he just really, they're just a great team, great combo, and that in itself gives me great hope.
Now I know you've this isn't your first rodeo as far as the draft is concerned, but having 3 picks in this first round is unique for this franchise.
Yeah.
So as you're sitting there in the prep room and in the war room, as they're kind of getting ready for tonight, like how fascinating is it for you to just kind of sit back and listen to all the opinions and everybody's fighting for this guy or that guy, or whatever? Like, how is that for you to kind of take it in and be like, this is kind of cool, right?
I'm like a kid.
Yeah.
And honestly, in the 5 or 6 minutes that we've had this conversation, I've said more than I said in 2 days sitting in that room. But it's fun to watch the active discussion, the no holds barred, agreement, disagreement, putting a perspective forward. And for me, that's how great decisions are made. So I've been like a kid. I mean it. It's just fun to watch.
Well, this year you don't have to hide the secret jersey.
That's right. That was
decentralized.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm named chairman and governor of the Philadelphia Flyers. My first job was to hide the jersey. Mishkov's
jersey. So nobody knew that's what you guys were doing, right?
Well, so allow me to throw out a hypothetical. It's not going to include the name of a player. Again, I'm being a good boy tonight. I always make the argument, the teams that ultimately win a championship, create a dynasty, there's always that one move. I call it the big balls move. Not to be exclusive here.
Yeah.
It could be big ovaries move. We can call it that, right? But I'm trying to be,
No, I get it. Inclusive.
Yeah. I broke them. Good. There has to be that one move. There is a move that comes at a point where you kind of push more chips in. Maybe it's fitting in Atlantic City that it's a push the chips in kind of thing. When you look at all those picks, I mean, I don't know who ultimately makes the final call there, but when you look at it and you go, all right, we have 3 firsts, we have 3 seconds, we know what next year's draft could look like, all that. How apt would you be to looking at Danny and Jonesy if they say, hey, we're going to have to give up a lot, but we think the guy that we're going to go after is worth it? Or do you look at it and say, all right, let's be a little bit more cautious. We have all these assets. Maybe we can get value across the board. Like where do you land?
Well, let me start. I wholeheartedly agree with your perspective that at some point you need to make that big move. And if you think of the strategy that these guys have laid out, we freed up cap space. We do have all these picks. I don't know when it's going to be, but I'm going to embrace it enthusiastically when Jonesy and Danny come and say, this is where we're headed and this is why. Yep. And I firmly believe they've proven to all of us over the course of 2.5 years that they're willing to take risks, but they're also cognizant of the fact that, as you said, Russ, we have a stable of good young talent. So we've got to be mindful that we don't want to upset the build that we have going on.
Well, Dan, the boss has told us your time is up.
Oh,
so
sorry. I always enjoy this, you guys.
Well, I know. We can sit here with you all night.
Where's Bundy?
His daughter's getting married. His daughter's married tonight.
So his daughter's getting married, and we wish all of them the best.
Yeah. But
we'll have a great night, and I hope
too.
you get a chance to go over to the fan fest or whatever.
But you have a great.
Yeah. Thanks.
Enjoy.
You're the best.
Really
and I appreciate everything.
Thanks for being
here. Dan Hilferty, ladies and gentlemen.